What happened to Miss Angel Reese? She's all in Indiana during All-Star and her Reebok campaign.
Ice Cube himself at LAX this week. And the Big Three honcho.
It was more fans running. They was running down on Caitlin Clark like she was Michael Jordan.
He explained he's got no issues with the Chicago Sky forward. It's just the dollars and cents.
Caitlin Clark just walked into Angel Reese's city and somehow left as the biggest star of the night. But why did Clark's entrance create Michael Jordan-level buzz while Reese's efforts barely got a fraction of that love? Stay tuned. We're breaking down the tension you didn't see on the court. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
Yeah, she's not worth 5M. Sorry. Caitlin Clark is. Is everybody about to get mad and try to cancel Cube now?
You see the headline from TMZ. Sorry, Angel Reese. The $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark.
And then we got Ice Cube bombing on Angel Reese, talking about, man, she's not worth the money that Caitlin Clark was worth.
Imagine this. You're in your own city, surrounded by people who are supposed to be there for you, and yet all the energy, all the excitement, every camera flash is pointed at someone else. That's the scene Angel Reese stepped into when Caitlin Clark arrived in Chicago. Clark wasn't just welcomed, she was treated like the second coming of Chicago basketball. Fans jammed into lines, waited hours for autographs, and chanted her name like she had grown up playing on their local courts. For a moment, it looked less like a WNBA game and more like a victory parade for Chicago's latest favorite.
You see the headline from TMZ. Sorry, Angel Reese. The $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark getting treated like Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Chief Keef, Lil Durk, all of them.
Ice Cube told us sponsors assured him Clark coming to his organization.
Here's where it gets wild. Angel Reese, who had every reason to expect a hero's reception, found herself standing in Clark's shadow right in her own backyard. Videos of Clark making her way through the crowd might as well have been taken at a pop star concert. One clip showed fans nearly rushing past security just to snap a selfie with her. Meanwhile, Reese's interactions with fans weren't anything close to that level of chaos. It was understated, almost muted. The difference wasn't just noticeable, it was huge, and anyone watching could feel it. Now, maybe this is just about Chicago's love for basketball flash, right? The city has a deep hoops culture, one that's always celebrated flashy, confident players. Caitlin Clark's game, her precision from deep range, her knack for pulling off wild passes, her swagger on the court, it's the type of play that puts fans in seats, even in cities she's never played in.
And then we got Ice Cube bombing on Angel Reese, talking about, man, she's not worth the money that Caitlin Clark was worth.
Three's $5 million offer to Caitlin Clark never coming to fruition. Could a lucrative Angel Reese proposal
go over your trap? What happened to that? Because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over.
Add her composed but energetic demeanor, and it's clear why people feel drawn to Clark. You can't forget that Chicago has always gravitated toward performers who shine under the spotlight, whether it's MJ, D Rose, or now, maybe Clark. But here's where it stings for Angel Reese. While Clark was soaking up this love, cameras caught Reese looking visibly frustrated after the game. And honestly, who wouldn't feel the same? For all her dominance on the court, it seemed like the narrative had already been written before the first whistle blew. Clark was the star to watch, and Reese was, at best, part of the supporting cast. What if your worth as a basketball player wasn't based on your skills, but on how much money you could pull in? That's the reality Angel Reese is up against right now. Ice Cube made that crystal clear when he offered Caitlin Clark a $5 million deal to join the Big Three League. Why Clark? According to Cube, she brought in millions, and that potential made the offer a no-brainer. But here's the thing. His public comments also sent another message.
She's not the draw, folks. I don't know how else to say it. Quote, I don't know. if we can make that same offer.
Paid to come stand in the scene. No, these were real people trying to get autographs. And then we got Ice Cube.
Cube initially sent the offer Clark's way when she was an Iowa Hawkeye. She would have only needed to have played.
For players like Angel Reese, who don't generate that same kind of hype, the conversation quickly turns to whether they're marketable enough to demand those opportunities. Now, this is where it gets messy. While Clark's fan support seems to come effortlessly, filled with packed lines, natural sponsor interest, and viral moments, Reese has had to lean on manufactured optics. Reports highlighted the difference. Reese has supposedly staged promo shoots to stay relevant in the eyes of sponsors, while Clark needs none of that effort. Her fan base is raw, loud, impossible to ignore, giving her an edge Reese just doesn't seem to have in this public narrative. It's not just a comparison, it's a competition Reese never asked for but can't escape. And then there's the emotional weight. Reese was captured in tears after a recent game, visibly shaken.
Ice Cube is not in the business of losing money, so of course Angel Reese couldn't get offered the 5 M's.
In 8 regular season games and potentially 2 playoff games to earn the absorbent amount of cash. Thinking about that.
Is everybody gonna try to cancel Ice Cube for keeping it real?
People speculated it wasn't just about the scoreboard. It was the growing pressure to prove her worth on court and off it. The league, the sponsors, even the media, they're all watching, and she's left to figure out how to keep up with the rising star standing beside her. Ice Cube's statement about Clark unlocking millions only emphasized that Reese isn't seen the same way financially. The contrast couldn't be louder. It also raises a bigger question. Is Reese really competing against Clark, or is the system itself failing players like her? Clark's magnetic draw highlights glaring gaps in the way the WNBA markets its stars. Reese isn't losing because she lacks talent. She's losing because the league doesn't make enough space for more than one superstar at a time. So where does she go from here?
Forward siding with the big 3 right now. With or without Clark and Reese, Cube's still clearly pleased with his league.
Caitlin Clark took over Chicago. She signed autographs for hours. This wasn't no extras.
3's $5 million offer to Caitlin Clark never coming to fruition. Could a lucrative Angel Reese proposal?
Angel Reese doesn't need to chase Caitlin Clark's spotlight. She needs to build her own. Her game speaks for itself, but her path forward rests on defining success on her own terms. That means focusing on what makes her unforgettable. Her dominance in the paint, her unapologetic energy, and her story that resonates with so many fans. The WNBA needs to spotlight these differences, showing there's space for stars like Reese and Clark to coexist without constant comparison. It's time for fans to push for a league that uplifts all its players, not just the ones everyone's already buzzing about.